Welcome to the Instagram stories for Monday, February 6th. I'm your host, Daniel Hill. Do you remember what we do on Mondays?
Weekly AMA, ask me a question here, and I'll try to answer it in a little bit.
Let's dive right into the questions. The first question, do you rank feed or is it chronological? You know from listening to this show that the feed is ranked, but you can access your chronological feed. I'm going to say that his answer taught me something that I didn't know. See if you pick up on it, and then we'll talk about it after his clip.
We rank feed because when we do, we see that not only do people say they like Instagram more, but they use Instagram more and their friends seem to like and use Instagram more. But we know that sometimes you want to be able to get just to a chronological feed, which is why we built the following feed. So you can just tap the Instagram logo and switch to following if you ever just want to see the most recent things from all of the accounts that you follow and also no recommendations.
Did you pick up on what he said at the end there? If you switch to the following feed, which I rarely do, it doesn't have any recommendations. Did everyone else know that? And I'm just learning that for the first time right now. I think that's a really cool point. What I would really love to see is for the following feed to become the default feed on Instagram. I think that's incredibly unlikely at this point, but hey, it's an option. It's right there if you want to take advantage of it. Next question. Do you show more reels than photos? You would think that they would be showing more reels than photos, but here's the answer.
In feed, actually, there are more photo impressions than video impressions. Now, that varies by person, by country, exactly to what extent. If you love video and only watch video, we'll probably show you more video impressions than photo impressions. But overall, video is growing in terms of how much people share to feed, and photos is shrinking in terms of the percentage of what people share, but photos are still a larger percentage of impressions.
That is a really good stat to use when people say that Instagram isn't about photos anymore, because even though the number is shrinking, like you said, it's still more than reels. So there's some comfort there. Next question, and this is very important if you're a parent. Can I control what my kid sees on Instagram? Great question.
So we actually have a tool that allows parents to connect to teen accounts, and they can set limits on how much time is spent on Instagram. They can set blackout periods. They can see reports. They can see how much time their kids spend on Instagram, but they cannot actually control what their kids see directly. But if you think that's the type of thing you'd like to see as a parent, let us know, and we will add that to the things that we're considering on the roadmap.
If you are a parent, please make sure that you're taking advantage of all the options that Instagram offers in order to keep your kid safe and protected while using Instagram. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Reels bonuses and how many people you follow on Instagram.
This episode is brought to you by Michigan Economic Development Corporation. In Michigan, you can have both a rewarding career and a quality lifestyle, with plentiful career opportunities in world-changing, innovating industries, from electric vehicles to clean energy to biotech, with room for advancement no matter where you are in your career. Plus, Michigan offers a welcoming, beautiful, affordable, and inclusive community for all. Live your best life. You can in Michigan. Visit themichiganlife.org.
And we're back. Next question. Do you limit how many people you follow? Now, when I first read this question, I thought the question was, is there a limit to how many Instagram people you could follow? That is not actually the question. Hey, even I get confused sometimes. Here's the answer.
I probably shouldn't. I follow more and more people for work over time, particularly as I meet creators out there in the world and also as I make new friends. I try to keep it down and prune the list, but I'm not great about it. What about you? Do you like to prune your list of who you follow, or do you just let it ride?
Okay, I just checked. Adam Mosseri follows 1,100 people. I recommend, for the best experience, following less than 500 people on Instagram. That's just my opinion. Some people follow everyone they've ever met, but in my experience, when you follow too many people, you don't get a chance to really engage with their content. In fact, you might not see it very often at all. So I always recommend keeping it to a small group of people that you actually care about who post frequently. A lot of times you might have a great relationship with someone and you want to follow them on Instagram, but they never actually post. What's the point of following them? Is it just to make you feel good about the relationship? I mean, if you've already got a good relationship, then who cares whether or not you follow each other? They're not posting anyway. That's just my opinion. Make your own decisions, of course. Next question. Can I volunteer to test new features? Love this question.
There currently is no way to volunteer to test new features, but that's an interesting thing to think about. It might be something that people would be interested in signing up for. I do think it makes it hard for us because when you're testing features, you want to see how people use that feature, and there's probably a particular selection bias for those who are going to opt into testing new things, but it still could be valuable for us too, so we'll look into it.
This answer confused me a little bit because on Android, there is an option to join the beta program of Instagram. It's not clear exactly what joining you into the beta gives in terms of features, right? If you don't have a specific feature, will you be able to get it once you join the beta? Who knows? That's not really how it works. But that is an option. Maybe he forgot that that exists, or maybe he answered the question a little bit differently than how I'm thinking about it. But anyway, if you like to be on the bleeding edge and you have Android, go into the Google Play Store and sign up for the Instagram beta, mess around with it, see if you think it's any different. And the last question we're going to talk about today, when will I get bonus options? Bonus options would be helpful in terms of making money. Here's the answer.
Bonuses are never going to be for everybody. They're an experiment right now. We're trying to figure out how to make sure that they make sense from a creator perspective, but also from an Instagram business perspective. They need to be ROI positive over the long run. So we're currently testing performance-based incentives both in the US and in India, but we're more interested over the long run in other ways to help creators make a living, whether it is subscriptions or helping people get branded content deals or gifts or digital goods, or even rev share. We want to make sure that whatever we develop over the long run is sustainable. And bonuses is just one of those ideas, but certainly not yet proven to the degree that I would promise bringing it to the whole world.
I think this conversation is very important. Rev share is extremely attractive to creators. It's a key component in why YouTube has grown the way it has. Instagram has always shown itself very reluctant to share revenue the way YouTube has, and I think that's ultimately to their detriment. This is something that platforms have to identify. Otherwise, long term, they're not going to exist. And I think Vine is a perfect example of when that happened. Creators banded together, went to Vine and said, we want money for the content that we're creating for you, and it needs to make sense for us financially. Vine didn't want to do it, and now Vine no longer exists. So this is a key component that Instagram has to get right. That's going to do it for today's show. Thanks so much for listening. Be sure to come back tomorrow for more Instagram news, strategy, things related to other social media platforms. Whatever is most important for me to talk to you about, I will do.
I'm not yet a member of the Instagram team, but my podcast covers many Instagram themes. But the name, image, logos are trademarks of Instagram and the LCC in the USA and every territory. Everything I publish independently. Until they let me run my team and start to pay my salary. Not sponsored or endorsed, no lies, no fallacy. I use their logo with permission, not malicious or callously. No trademark violation, filling all criteria. Follow me on Instagram or Twitter at Daniel Hill Media.